Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time and depending on when you're going to be seeing this video. It's your brother, your boy, courserepscorner. Like I always tell you guys, it's my corner, it's your corner, and it's our corner.
I don't wanna fall in love. I just wanna have some fun, yeah. I don't wanna fall in love.
The person you are seeing now is by name Jimmy Odukoya. Sorry, Pastor Jimmy Odukoya. You know why I called him Jimmy the first time? Because I know him as a Nollywood actor and a social media personality. But fortunately, the late father, was a pastor. And coincidentally, when the father passed on, the church's elder, as in the elders of the church, sat down and decided to crown him the general overseer, taking after his father. But what I know him as is an actor. I don't want to mention movies he has acted, but if you have not seen the face in Nigerian movies, that means you don't even know him. He's a Nigerian movie actor and he's a social media personality. But he's now a full pastor who is now heading the church of his late father. Now, somebody will say, this one, a pastor, yes, he is a pastor. Somebody will say, with these dreadlocks, with this hair, is a pastor, yes. In fact, that was what I thought. With the very first day when I knew the father was a pastor and he has been appointed or selected to take over his father's position, I was surprised. The first thing I asked myself was, what about his hair? Is he going to cut it? Like, as I asked, people have also asked that question, and that is where I'm coming to. He gave a summary why he has chosen not to cut off his hair. He has said a lot of things, and I said, no, I will have to share this video. I just saw it today, and I said, let me share it with us, so that you see a reason why he has not cut his hair. Even as a pastor, he goes to the altar like this. And I thank God for his life. The grace of God in his life has been showcased everywhere. God is faithful using him. I hope you understand my point. So let me not drag it. Let me not be the one that will make you hear what he said. Let me allow you hear from the horse's mouth. Okay. I haven't said this. I want to thank you. I want to appreciate you for listening to subscribe to the channel. For those of us who have not subscribed, please, I beg you, subscribe to the channel, like, comment, and share, so that we can move this ministry to the permanent side. The coming way next time to see me on your screen, guys, I leave us with this video of what Pastor Jimmy Odukoya said on why he has not cut down his hair. He has dreadlocks, what we know as dada in Nigeria, but why has he not cut it off? What is making him keep such an hair as a pastor? You hear the full story. Please give me your reaction, comment, opinion in the comment section.
Tell you a story. Remember I told you how before I came back, one of the things I asked the Lord was whether or not to cut my hair, and the Lord told me not to cut my hair. I said, Lord, you sure? He said, don't cut it. I said, I don't know what you're trying to do, but I'm crazy enough to follow you. Let's do it together. I told you that ASP came to me. My sister's like, this your hair? I'm like, yeah. She says, you know when they try to give you like old adages, and she says, to clean a fish, you must first catch it. In other words, if you're going to bring about change, you must be first accepted. Truly wise words, truly from a good place, truly from a heart of concern. But I knew what God had said to me. So I say to her, sis, I hear you, but go pray. God will speak to you. She has a vision. She sees me preaching with my hair. She comes back and says, oh, guess what? You're not supposed to cut your hair. I said, I know, because he already told me. Now that's not the part of story I'm going to. A couple of weeks ago, it's on a Sunday, and Pastor Tony comes in and tells me, and he says, there is a lady outside from Zimbabwe that came to see you, and she flew in from Zimbabwe. Now Zimbabwe is southern Africa. She flew from the tip of southern Africa all the way to West Africa because she wanted to come to church. I said, what do you mean? So I'm like, please bring this lady in. And she begins to tell me a story. Now she's like so excited. She says, people think I'm crazy. I told everybody I'm coming to Nigeria for the next 3 to 4 weeks. I'm just coming to church. So we're like, huh? What happened? And she begins to tell me the story. Listen to this. It was 2016. I was in New York. It was Thanksgiving. And I had a a vision and it felt so real. In this vision, I see you with your hair and you're speaking to me, and I've been dealing with some things in my life, and there was like this dog on my shoulder, and I knew that this dog represented the weight I was carrying. And she says, you had this long sword, and you began to speak to me, and it felt like lightning and thunder was coming out from the sword, and he burnt the dog into ashes, and he began to declare over me, and I gave her certain instructions. She says, when I came out from this vision, it was so real that I told everybody in my family about this vision, about this person that I saw, this pastor with long hair and a sword. It made no sense, but I told everybody. She says, fast forward to 2025. She said, after that vision, I went through a tough breakup, lost everything in a divorce. My ex took the house, said everything I worked for. It was a tough time. She says, all my family are Seventh-day Adventists, by the way, but I lost everything. I said, to compound issues, my mom got sick and I watched her die in my arms, and so I was flung into depression. I wanted to end it all, and all I knew was I had to find God. So I was trying to find him, like I need God to find me. And she says, so I turned on YouTube just to hear sermons. It says, all of a sudden pops up on YouTube is your sermon, and you're preaching mercy me. And she says, you don't understand, because listen, when I had this vision, I didn't know you existed. The person I saw, I did not know was a real person. So when I saw the man in the vision with the long hair preaching, I began to scream, this is the man I saw. This is the man I saw. She said, people thought I was having a mental breakdown. I was calling everybody. I found the man I saw in the vision. He's real. I didn't know any pastor would have long hair. It's him. It's him. And people are like, what's course? I need to go. I need to go. Here's what's crazy. Now listen. In 2016, I didn't have dreads. In the time she had the vision, I did not have my hair. The God who sees, the God who hears, the God who knows, knew that at some point in February 2025, one of his children would have to see a man preaching. Guess what? If he did not ask me to keep my hair, I would have cut my hair. And when I popped up on the screen, she would have seen me with no hair, and it would have meant nothing. But the Lord who knew, fast forward 2025, she would need to see the man with hair, told me, don't cut your hair. And I thought he was doing it to try to prove a point. It was bigger than that. It was to save a life. Now listen to me. If I had listened to the opinions of people who told me it's impossible, who told me you cannot have the call and have this hair, it is not African, it is not godly, it is not God. God told me to keep my hair to save the life of someone. And because I heard him, she would fly 6 hours and come to church for 3 weeks. She would cancel all her appointments. She would say, everybody leave me alone. And she said to me, these last 3 weeks have been healing for me. You don't understand. She says, thank you for heeding the call. Thank you for listening to him. And I'm saying that to say, it is so important to know God for yourself.